So the humility of just saying like, I don't know, and relearning that.
And there's power in saying, I don't know. There's power in it. You have to do it skillfully. You can't always say, I don't know. But if you say it with like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know, I will figure it out. But can you give me a little bit of a sense of what it is or whatever it is? There's a way to do it. Yeah.
There is. I heard this once that true experts are so confident in what they know that they're okay admitting what they don't know.
Hi, I'm Indra, and I'd like to welcome you to the Messy Middle Matters, where my friends and I explore all the twists, turns, and challenges that arise in the messy middle of work.
Hi, everyone. Today, we're talking about something that is probably top of mind for a lot of folks because the job market is so darn wacky, where people are changing careers, they're changing roles, they're changing companies, they're changing so many different things. And even if you do stay within the same craft, or even if you stay within the same company, something that no one talks about, or rarely do people talk about, is how much your identity shifts. Like what worked for you in one place totally may not work in another place for so many reasons. And today I have Mikki joining me for the conversation. And so this topic spurred up from like we were just jamming and talking about so many different things, and this showed up. So I'm so grateful.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Well, before we dig into the content, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are?
We love this question.
It feels like a job interview. Tell me about yourself.
Cool. So I'm Mikki. I was having a conversation recently with someone and realized that like the core of me is just an excitable, energetic person. And that's kind of nice. It manifests itself in all kinds of different ways throughout my life.
Yeah.
I really love people, and I've just like found this to be something that I'm pursuing more now. I'm quite creative. I am an artist and drummer, and I think that what I've landed on most recently, which I think we're going to talk about, like the career change into it, is working with in real life experiences, experiential design, events, and how that intersects with live theater or art installations as well. So that's a little bit about what I'm doing now, but I was not this person for very long, have not been.
No.
This is
we were just talking about that in a completely different context before we started recording.
Yeah. You were giving me feedback on my LinkedIn profile.
Well, requested feedback. I wasn't giving unsolicited. It was requested feedback.
Absolutely was, and well received, and I'm grateful for it. But it did highlight how much I've changed in the last year because it's so corporate. You know?
So much.
Yeah, that's like who I was. I was this corporate person.
Yeah.
Who could speak the speak and walk the walk. I know how to put on a blazer and show up in a boardroom meeting.
Yeah.
You know, and I sort of had this moment when I actually visited a Meow Wolf, bizarrely enough.
Okay.
It's an immersive art exhibit.
Yeah.
And it totally changed my life. I was like,
Meow Wolf, is that, remind me, like I've heard of it. I'm just gonna, is that the thing like in Las Vegas where they have like the stores that are not stores, but might be, and you wind up in like walking into the freezer and it's not a freezer? Okay.
Literally, it's that kind of place.
Okay. I will make sure, I need to give myself a reminder to add a link to that in the show notes, because if people haven't seen any of those videos on social or haven't lived it, like it's hard to really explain that thing.
It's impossible unless you experience it firsthand, and they're opening one in New York.
Ooh, nice. Okay. So you're in Meow Wolf. What was you said you had a revelation there?
Totally. I felt like I was transported to another world.
Okay.
And found this very childlike play and joy.
Yeah.
That's something that we all stray from sometimes. And we begin to identify as adults, which don't play. We don't do that. We're very serious.
We're serious business people with a Z.
Exactly. And we earn money and we live and we survive and we buy insurance. You know what I mean?
And that's really like anchored in our careers and our roles. Like a lot of people identify with their titles. A lot of people identify with their roles. A lot of people identify, especially the high achieving folks, as being that expert that people can turn to all the time.
Oh, I loved that.
Right? It feels so good.
Yes.
It feels so good.
My identity was definitely built around it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be smart. I wanted to be respected.
Yeah.
Any certification that I thought would earn me more respect in my youth, I was trying to get.
Mikki's got her PMP, her pimp, as I like to call it. I don't, and I've been around the sun a few more times than she has, and so she's got even that one.
Oh, well, my professor in grad school recently told me that people get certified because they're unqualified, and I thought that was so hilarious.
Okay. So flashback, and I will find it, and I'll also add it into the show notes somewhere. We did have an episode on credentials and why people get credentials.
Yep.
I disagree with your professor.
Okay.
But I don't want to go down that
I'm so glad you do, because I got the credential. So
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. The TLDR on it, too long didn't read, short form of it is that credentials serve different people in different ways. And some people, based on their backgrounds or their demographics or whatever it might be, need those credentials to be taken seriously. So among many, many other things, but that's the one that most often gets overlooked. It's just some people just literally need to put PMP at the end of their things that people, they do know what they're talking about. Oh, okay. I guess, okay. Or whatever, CPA or whatever.
Yeah.
Pick your alphabet soup. But these are important alphabet soups. But back to identity. So jobs and being that expert and turning to something, and belonging to that culture that you came from. And now you're doing something so totally different, which is it's leveraging a lot of your skills that you've built over the years, but it's not the same.
No.
So tell me about your transition. So what is your goal today? So people have heard about this place a lot of times on the podcast, but where are we today and what's your role today?
Okay, well, we find ourselves in the Dumbo Den, which I designed recently because
it's amazing.
Thank you. I'm the community director of Dumbo, and that is such a weird title for me, but that's what I'm doing. I literally just got back from walking around Dumbo, inviting businesses to join us for a partnership and an event. And I was just walking around thinking, oh my God, my life is so cool. This is actually my job right now.
Yeah.
I had these moments of pinch me because it was not like this. And I've found something that is very motivating. I get to help people bring their ideas to life. It's their business or it's their community that they're trying to bring people together with, and I co-create an experience. And something I really love is being in a room when people are really present. And I think it's very easy for people to be very present when they know there is a start and an end to that moment, and it's nothing like events. Events are such a good way.
It's as if you just led a book club on Priya Parker's book. But anyway, but so let's rewind, because this is really about that shift from one thing to another.
Yes.
Yes, this is a wonderful environment. Yes, you have an incredible boss. Yes. People have probably heard of Derek's episode. That was amazing.
Amazing.
But day one, what did it feel like?
Yeah.
Walking in, we're all the new kid on day one when we start a new role, a new project, a new something, right?
So, and I think really the core of what we wanted to talk about was this shift in identity, the grief that comes with it.
Yep.
I think that's really underdescribed in a lot of these circles. The humility that I discovered.
Yep.
Because really day one, it's about saying, ooh, I'm not making the money I was making. So now my identity feels unsafe even, right? Maybe this choice I made is leading me into a lack of safety and security if you associate money that way, which I did. Status, right?
Oh my goodness. Sorry to interrupt. My father, I once had a job and I was the senior manager of digital transformation and cross-functional teams. And my father was like, I'm like, what? He was so impressed by it. I'm like, what does my title mean?
It sounds so sexy.
It sounds so
good.
Right? But what does it mean?
What does it
mean?
What does it mean to you? That's really all that matters. Because harsh reality is we're living our lives with ourselves.
Yeah.
And so if we don't like ourselves and this title, is shallow and doesn't really mean much to us.
And so you're having this letting go exercise of a title that felt more statusy.
Totally. External validation.
Yeah.
I just needed that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be smart. I wanted to be respected. I wanted to be seen as smart. So I like to joke that I majored in fear because I know. Thank you. What can I say?
I love that. That's very honest.
It was. It took me a while to realize that I did that.
Yeah.
But business analytics, I have a passion I've developed for data and understanding numbers and how we can answer questions with them. Sure. it was like, I can remember in preschool running away from math class. Like we had an hour of math where my professor would do 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 2 = 3. And it was just so foreign to me to understand. I would literally hide underneath the playscape that we had. And I could remember her calling, Michaela, right? Michaela, where are you? Because I was running away from math. So to go from that into majoring in a stats math related major, like there was some serious and subtle violence of this idea of self-improvement that I was driving towards, right?
Yeah. Because that's what the world is telling you should do.
Yeah. You can't make money as an artist. What?
No.
And it's true. It's very hard to make
It's
money as an
hard.
artist.
It's not, but it's not impossible.
You have to find, I think, either you're going to be, and we could talk more about the arts.
Yeah.
You're going to be compromising a lot of what the world says you need to value.
Okay.
Or rediscovering, a way to do it through work that can pay you. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where I've landed, is to say that, okay, my job is an extension of something that I knew was more natural to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so how can I find a way to honor myself? Like really, it comes back to, I remember feeling like, hey, I'm actually worth it. I'm worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can be happy. I can honor the skills that I was given. If it feels good to draw, that's it. It feels good to draw. Just draw. Like there's so much that I learned to put away somewhere else because I didn't value it and I didn't value myself. So putting that in front. Yeah, you got to put that in front at some point and say, it's okay for me to choose a different path because I matter to myself. I'm important.
And I admire you for that, because so many people don't do that. Or if they do put themselves first, like what makes it extra special is that you were finding a middle path between just the grounded reality of, like, we live in a capitalist society and there's rent to pay and there's all these other things and societal pressures and whatever. But then there's your heart, like the thing that feeds you. Yeah. And so, letting go of the living a life that was more on that should track, right?
The should track.
And now starting something new with that, like, your identity, you were just talked about the identity. And I'm going to guess that the feelings, like knowing all the things that you wish that you would know to be a community director here, didn't show up on day one.
Absolutely not. No. So I was feeling like, cool, I love myself. I'm going to go figure this out. And then actually the first foray into this creative path was me saying yes to any opportunity to work in any creative context. So I was volunteering for events. That's kind of how it started. It was like, yes, actually. Let's see. The first event I kind of poked my head into was with a social community here called 57.
Okay.
They had a Halloween party and I was like, why not? That sounds fun. Let me just practice doing things that feel fun.
Yeah.
And so I went and I volunteered and I thought, how fun. This is cool and amazing.
Yeah.
And then I also did a City of Gods festival, which is another like crazy, wild, huge Halloween festival.
Yeah.
In New York City. And, at that point you're like stapling curtains to a wall.
Yeah.
And taking out trash. And I decided, all right, this is the choice I made. I'm going to stick to it until it makes sense. And it didn't make sense. And I just had to trust that. I was like, okay, this is what they say you have to do. Yeah. There were days where I panicked. The stories you hear, you're going through a complete economic shift, a psychological shift, an emotional shift. This is the job I'm doing. I was ashamed to realize that I had so ingrained in myself this idea of status and hierarchy, right?
Really?
I know. I was ashamed. I was like, wow, this is not the value I want to hold, but this is clearly what I've been living by.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why else did I push myself into this idea of having a status of a job that was better or worse than something else. Like, it's just different. It's just different
Yeah.
choices we all make. Um, so yeah, I was taking out the trash. I was running for coffee, all that stuff that you do when you're a beginner
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Well, that's it so much. And that's one of the words that you said earlier. And it stuck with me when we were talking about what we would talk about humility.
Yeah.
Like, there's such deep, like, no matter what level you're at, no matter how big of a pivot it is or not, it's just a different role in a same role, different company. Like, the humility that you have to have, especially in today's market where, if I rewind to the early days when um, everyone was looking for a company to work at forever, like
Right.
that was really the goal.
Right.
When I graduated college,
Not anymore.
not anymore. And like, I think that the youngest generation in the workforce is teaching us that that's not, we don't need to serve a master that doesn't serve us, right? Like,
Right.
and so,
But also that the environment's changing all the time. So we do have to
yeah,
be really good at reinventing ourselves. And what I have seen and feel firsthand
yeah,
about it is like this letting go of identity that causes grief and
yeah.
the ability to ask for help again.
Asking for help.
That
Yes.
is like a very hard thing for someone that is so independent, that has always pushed themselves to achieve something,
Yeah.
and to say, God, I need I need a job right now. Like, does
Yeah.
anybody have a gig I can do? Does
Yeah.
anybody know what like I was setting up an immersive art exhibit, and someone asked me for an amp drop map of like where the electricity plugs needed to be, and I had no idea what that was. So like thank God there's ChatGPT today, but also
Yeah.
I needed somebody to tell me with experience of like what
What
was
is it?
this, right?
Yeah.
So the humility of just saying like I don't know and relearning that.
There's power in saying I don't know. Like, and
Mm,
people, it's there's power in it. You have to do it skillfully. You can't always say, I don't know. Like, but if you say it with like, hey,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Do you
it's
have it? Can you give me, I will figure it out, but can you give me a little bit of a sense of what it is or whatever it is? There's a way to do it.
there
Yeah.
is. I heard this once that true experts are so confident in what they know
Mm-hmm.
that they're okay admitting what they don't know. And it's like on the journey to becoming an expert, the only way you get there is when you
Yeah.
repeatedly identify your blind spots and feel okay with that.
All day, every day. And the other thing I'll say about experts is they're usually generous with their knowledge. The confident one, the truly confident one, they
Mhm.
don't gatekeep. But which brings me to
Mhm.
my next question. Like, what role did community play in this? I'm hearing like
Oh yeah.
snippets of people that you're leaning on or whatever it might be. And
Oh
what
my
role
gosh.
did community play in the transition?
Well, I was working remotely.
Okay.
I had no community. Came to New York thinking, okay, I'm going to find myself like we all do.
Sick New York story, right?
Classic New York story. And as soon as I stuck my neck out and started meeting people and started seeing just this creative hotbed of cross collaboration and co creation, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
who knows who knows who knows who? Let me just keep meeting people and finding people and seeing who they introduce me to and going to another event to meet more people.
Yeah.
And purely out of curiosity, not because I wanted to network, but just because I wanted to know, like,
Hmm.
what's happening here? This is interesting and fun.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going,
Yeah.
but oh my God, the trust I've had to develop into not being that project management planner to tomorrow. Like, what is coming tomorrow? I have no clue what's coming tomorrow. That is not the Mikki of a year ago.
Yeah.
And to be able to trust and have faith that like these people also got me now. Like they know where I'm at. I've been vulnerable in sharing that I am clueless
Mm-hmm.
as to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And all I know is I want to get back to what feels like joy and what my natural way of being is. So where is it that I fit? And then, there are so many people I would have to thank for giving me a chance, um, and I won't name them here because I didn't tell them that I was going to name them on a podcast. I don't know if that's cool with them.
It's okay.
But
no need. We'll, if you know, you know. If you know, you know, there's gratitude.
You were my community that made me feel, or even if I didn't know you, but I watched you and I saw you do something amazing and have that confidence in yourself to create boldly in an environment where it is so difficult to stand out. Like everyone is such a professional hobbyist here, you know?
For real.
My husband says that all the time. He's like, everybody's a professional hobbyist, and it's so intimidating to start.
For real. And I won't go into my foray into trying to take dance classes as an adult and being surrounded by Broadway people.
Gosh.
I'm like, this is a beginner's class. Like, what's wrong? But anyway.
Classic New York story.
New York problems.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other thing that comes to mind, like, we've been talking about transitions and humility of that, you know, of changing roles and all of that stuff. But as you're sitting here talking, I imagine that there are people who are still, who are lucky enough to be still in the role. They love the role. Life is great, you know, and it's moving. They're at a company that they enjoy, but the world around them is changing.
Yeah.
Like that whole uncertain, like I think that even people who have quote stability are dealing with a lot of the same stuff
gosh, right.
and need the humility and need the this and need the that. Cause literally every day I turn on the news and I'm like, what world did I wake up to this morning?
Right.
For so many reasons. We don't need to go into those, but like, I think that there's something there for those folks too.
I hope so. I would say that if there's a thread, a through line, then it's like when you have instability or ambiguity and just feel lost, if it's by choice or by circumstance.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to spend some time with yourself to understand the source of that, because I think it's so important to know yourself, understand your fears, right? And then look around you to find that person you do trust to walk alongside of you and say, hey, I've been there, or I am there now, right? And that's where the community piece comes in to say, we're going to get through this together. Hey, here's an idea you can try. Maybe it resonates with you, maybe not.
Yeah.
But man, getting comfortable with ambiguity, it's not something that we're good at. We want to survive, so we need to know yes or no, black or white.
Yeah. Well, that's the human nature of us. Like that is our reptilian brains that want to, that deals with the fight or flight or whatever, you know, like there is that. Yeah. But you know, the one thing, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. So seeking community, sometimes it's easier to seek community and get support from people you know well. And sometimes it's easier to get support and community from people that are those loose connections that you may not know as well. Right? Because there is, and I have my daydreams. I'm going to put it out into the universe. I have the daydreams of creating something called the Messy Middle Movement.
Yes.
And with like community where people can get connected into like pods of folks who are not necessarily their day-to-day connections and get real feedback of like, I've been there, or like, oh, I'm dealing with the same thing too. And they're not your colleague. They're not your someone. It's not, they're somebody who doesn't have a stake in the game of your outcome other than they are a human being who wants to support another human being. Like, oh, let me show you what I did, you know, kind of thing. Like, so, but like, and, or sometimes you really need someone who's really entrenched in the thing with you. And it's easier to go to them. Like,
that's interesting.
In your experience, was it like new connections? Was it existing connections? Was it like a combo?
That's a great question. So I know of this psychological phenomena where you will open up more to a stranger than someone you know.
Sure.
Right. And that's also why sometimes podcasts can become so wildly vulnerable, because we're having this conversation in a safe space, but maybe we're kind of strangers. We're a little bit far removed. So you have no expectation of me, right? There's no identity I have to meet to be with you, right? And this is where I think when we do redefine ourselves, if we are looking for a complete shift in identity, then yes, it is important to be around people who do not know you. I do think that's very true. It's scarier, but it's also freeing because, hi, I'm Mikki. I get to redefine myself in this conversation right now. Right. Going into spaces alone I personally have always done that.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to recommend it to someone that finds that more challenging, right?
Sure.
Maybe dealing with different sort of anxiety or introversion.
Sure.
But I have just always been like, let me dive in and see what this is about.
Yeah.
Even so, recognizing that who I become and who I want to be is a reflection of where I'm around a bit. I think testing, does this fit? It's like a costume. It's like an outfit,
Try it on for size.
Literally try it on for size.
Yeah.
Like, I'm constantly experimenting, and I feel like we're all constantly changing. So if you need support from a place of fear and encouragement because someone has seen you succeed before, someone has seen you overcome something difficult before, go to the people you know. But if you're trying to figure out, all right, what do I like? Who am I actually? Then go to somebody new and be
I
like,
love that.
let me just play here. What's the risk? Especially in New York. What's the risk if you're some wild, goofy person that you don't like?
I may not see those people. I mean, I run into people in New York more often than people might think, but like the odds of me finding that stranger again, so low.
Yeah.
So low.
So be that person. Take the dare. Like, if it's I'm going to suddenly put on my hat of being an amazing conversationalist.
Yeah.
Like, convince yourself that you're that person. Walk in the room and just watch yourself have amazing conversations. Or if you say, you know what? I'm going to go to this puppet. Okay, I went to a puppet show. I went alone to a puppet show.
Nice.
With Rubalad. I don't know if you've heard of Rubalad, but it's another amazing community here. They do some kind of underground meetups and parties and things. Oh my God. There was a puppet show, this wild comedian that they had gotten out from LA. And someone hands me a puppet, a sock puppet. I haven't played with a sock puppet since maybe 5 years old.
I love that.
Turns out this guy brought a bag of sock puppets to hand out to the entire audience so we could all have sock puppet conversations with each other. I mean, you can't make this up.
You can't do that in every environment, but that sounds like so much fun.
It was so much fun. It was so goofy. And there was this voice in my head that was like, oh my God, this is weird. Like, what are we doing? I'm like supposed to be mature and older and better than this. And then this other part of me was like, no, I want to play with the sock puppet and meet people and say hi and poke someone on the shoulder and do a goofy voice. And it's like, okay, so I could judge myself and I could be embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
Or I could just play and have fun and share this experience with someone else.
See what happens.
See what happens. I love it or hate it. You don't know until you try it on.
I love it. 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 And you've included things that are like serious examples, like we're figuring out professionally or figuring out personally. Like you've got lots of different ways. And what I'll say, if folks are looking for something, we do have an episode with Amanda from not too long ago about networking without the ick. I'll try and drop that into the show notes too. Because it's not, and networking, practicing the networking skills comes in so many different ways, and you don't know who you're going to run into where, right? How, what that's going to lead to. The fact that you're going to discover that using now I'm playing sock puppets for those of you listening to audio. So like, you never know. Like, and I could just imagine myself if I had been at that event and I'd felt that moment of freedom that like, even in my imagination, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm like, Indra, pull out your sock puppet, not literally, but like tap that person on the shoulder and see what happens. Like you don't know what skills you're going to learn that will help you discover the thing that will be really useful for you to navigate the transition, plan for the transition, whatever it might be, and have that. And and find that new identity because we're being challenged to be new every day these days. It is a wild world with AI and everything else.
Oh my gosh.
Everything else.
For sure.
I love it. I love it. So redefining your value, finding your community, being gracious to yourself, having curiosity. Like we've covered such a broad breadth. Any other thoughts or things that like we haven't touched on that you're like, ooh, I want to talk about that and share that experience. If something comes to you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine.
I just think about these moments where I was taking out trash. Like literally. I know I mentioned that before, but like these were some of the most humbling moments because you got to start, and they say you start from the bottom and that voice in my head, but you got to start also with, I think, empathy for every part of what you're trying to do. That's why I really respect leaders that have seen the different parts of what they're trying to do. And so when I'm receiving service from someone now, because I have been the service provider, I just view and feel it differently. Like we talk about how everybody should be a server. I think everybody should know what that's
Spend
like.
some time in the service industry. It's humbling.
The humbling. And this is the theme and the word.
Yeah.
And to realize that, we were talking about this too. It's almost as if when you're in a professional career, you are one of one. You're part of the creative class, right? You're an intellectual. Your mind is being used. And so your identity is carried along with that somehow. You are not actually replaceable. Your job function might have someone else who can do that, but they're going to bring themselves to that as well. When you're doing something in service, unfortunately, it's not bringing your full self there. Anything that's manual labor, in a sense, it can be harder to associate like your personal identity to that role. And what I was realizing is when somebody treated me poorly, I was taking it so personal.
It hits harder.
It hits harder when you've always associated like Mikki at work, instead of saying this person just sees me as someone who's taking out the trash. They don't recognize everything that I am. And that's also something that made me just double down on the level of respect that I carry for anyone. That this person has a full life behind whatever activity that they are doing. Right? In the manual labor, physical labor, service. Like, so being on the other side and realizing I had to kind of separate my identity from my work as well. My role in those moments was to support, be quiet, and be gone. Right?
Yeah. And it's not a one-to-one mapping, but I'm just thinking when I'm talking to folks, I'm trying to think of it from the different angles that a listener might listen to it. And what that's given me, not just like everything you said is so important. And it's just like, it's all about treating humans like humans with all sorts of respect, like, just so great. But it also gave me like how, we need to support each other really well, right? If you see somebody who is in that scenario, you need to treat them with respect. If you see someone who's in transition, they're probably freaking out a little bit. So like the same type of grace you give to that person who's living through that.
We all need more grace.
Yeah.
We all need more grace. And I want to say one more thing. There was another story that I think really hit hard for me in this experience where I had a little bit of a turning point, and it was in a conversation with someone who was working with me. So I was managing a venue and they were part of the team that came with the event. And so, we're all in service, but we're working in different parts of the event. I come to find a little bit about the history of this individual, and I won't share it because it's not my story to share. But I will say I had this like moment of reflecting in the mirror of saying, I have been given so much opportunity in my life. Like it was so moving to know that this person had no other doors to turn to, open or close behind them. And I was choosing this. And it was heavy on my heart to think about the fact that I turned away from things and I could also turn back to them. Right? And this person didn't have that. And then I felt like, okay, it's kind of my duty to make sure that with what I have, I make use of it, because it is so not an option for so many people. And I just like, that's another point of humility, just like the immense gratitude that like flooded me in this moment of saying, wow, I can't stay here forever. I have more that was put in, and I'm going to take that and make the most of it. And I think there's this trick of the fool that will say like, oh, you're privileged. And this was just like all something that was given to you and you have no right to it and you didn't deserve it. And I think that is something where if anybody else had what I had, they would take it and run with it and do that. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we all need to do with whatever we are given. It is a privilege. Every gift that we get is a privilege, but don't live in guilt or fear that somehow this isn't yours to make use of. Like, honor that.
And you can bring people along.
Absolutely.
You're honoring that. Like, use your privilege for not just yourself.
Absolutely.
All boats can float. Like
Yes.
as many boats as we possibly can float from that.
Which is why I love community. I love that when I volunteer for something, when I reach out and say, you should be here too, like get everybody together. There is no competition. There's only collaboration, right? If you know about this and I know about that and we're all trying to help each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful space to be in that I get to play here at Fabric, like being this connector and supporting. And it's my way of saying in a small way, like I don't have to change the world, but I can change someone's world today. I can change the way that this, going back to the room, full circle. Okay, this little room, I redesigned it and I was like, okay, cool. I had my tiny impact on 10 people today because now they're going to enjoy a space more. If that's it, that's it.
But that's something.
It's something.
It's something. And the ripples, you don't know where they're going to go.
Right. And I think as I continue to pursue that, and as anyone continues to pursue that, you will see the opportunity to do that. And you just have to align your actions with your values. And I think there's nothing more revealing about your values than rediscovering your identity, redefining your identity, and doing that with humility.
Full
Bam.
circle. Boom.
Bam. I was like, I didn't know if I was going to do this podcast thing well, but that sounded like a pretty nice concluding sentence, right?
I think it was. I am sure that people got something out of this, whether it's some advice or feeling seen, feeling like just grounded, whatever it might be. Thank you for joining me.
Wow, thank you for having me.
I'm honored that you trusted me to have this conversation.
Yes.
And
thank you for having me.
Oh, please. And I hope that everyone joins us next time for another topic from the Messy Middle Matters.
You can do it. Do your thing. You can do it.
If you've got some Get Stuff Doners on your team or are one who takes pride in your work, we just dropped a brand new I Get Stuff Done collection in the Messy Middle merch shop. You'll also find the classics Don't Make Me Regret Trying to Be Helpful and Words Matter. They make fantastic year-end gifts, and yes, we even have gift cards. And if something's running late, there's a free I ordered it, but it's not here yet download you can hand them in the meantime. Check everything out at messymiddlemerch.com. And if you like this episode, a like, share, or subscribe goes a really long way in helping us spread the word. Till next time.